Hello, everyone, and welcome to another elite episode of the Get Authentic with Marques show. My name is Marques Ogden. On today's episode, we are joined by Mr. Taylor Ericsen. But before we get Taylor to the stage, I want to thank one of our amazing sponsors, Tactical Harmony. If you're feeling the weight of pressure in today's unpredictable world, you need to know Rebecca Fitzsimmons. She's a former NCIS special agent turned leadership coach, keynote speaker, and founder of Tactical Harmony. She's led at the highest levels, from leading her teams through high-risk missions to guiding teams through everyday change management in the private sector. Now she helps ambitious professionals, leaders, and companies build a victory mindset to defy the ordinary and operate at peak performance in their careers and beyond. She gives you the competitive edge to win more and stress less. If you want to build an unshakable leadership and build a mindset that wins, visit tacticalharmony.com to learn more. If you're looking for your next keynote speaker, Rebecca is someone who will leave your audience fired up and ready to lead. Now, here he is. Taylor, how you doing today, Taylor?
Good. How you doing? Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
No doubt, my friend. First question, Taylor. What
Yeah.
does the word authentic/authenticity mean to you?
Authenticity for me is really just being yourself in all giving situations, being transparent in those situations as well, being true to yourself, in the midst of whatever situation that you're going through. So, I think I for me the mode of being authentic is just again, like I said, if you're in any different situation at any given time, if you are truly able to come as present as you are, then I think that's probably the most important thing. So,
Taylor, I really like how you said coming in and being present just as you are. So many
right.
people try to act like someone or be someone that they know they're not, or they
Yep.
pretend to put on a facade, or they put on a mirage, or they put on a mask and try to act like someone that they know is not them. And here's the problem with that, right, Taylor? I talk about this all the time when I speak, especially around like mindset or business
Yep.
owners or leadership. You can lie to everybody, but you can't lie to yourself. For example, right, Taylor, I can tell you this morning I worked out. I ran about 1.5 to 2 miles. I did core, I did
Yep.
biceps, triceps, and I walked another mile on top of that. You have no idea if I'm telling the truth or not, but I do. Now, of course, I did do that because that's who I am, and that's how I'm disciplined in that regard. But I tell everybody, lying is not going to get you anywhere, because the person that you're lying to is you. And again, you know if you're telling the truth or not. You can't get away with lying to
Yeah.
yourself. So don't even try. What are your thoughts on that, Taylor?
No, I think it's true, man. I think, throughout life you go through a situation, especially, immaturity of being a child, that sometimes you may lie to your parent, may lie to yourself on many cases, but there's always a day that those things resurface. And sometimes, I think being transparent, authentic with yourself is more important because, at the end of the day, we've seen through life, obviously within itself, people who have lied to themselves in many cases have ended up in situations that, you don't understand how to get out of it. And I think, for me, throughout the years, just having steps of being honest about what current position I'm in, has really helped me kind of mold myself and kind of move in certain directions. And like you said, you're right. Like lying to yourself is probably the worst thing that you could potentially do. It's not authentic. If you come from, principles that you kind of want to uphold. For me, I'm a father, so if you want your child to live in within that space too, have that same type of mindset, I think the best thing and best version of yourself is, and authenticity within yourself is just to be honest about time, place, in current situation, in most cases. So
Excellent, Taylor. Couldn't agree with you
yeah.
more. Please tell our audience a little bit more about yourself and the work you're currently now doing.
Yeah, so my name's Taylor Rice, originally from Boston, Massachusetts. have to say that I'm from a little town about 5 miles north called Malden, Massachusetts. I've been in the government space. I've been working, as far as the Department of Defense and transitioning over into startups, and now currently working with building out a platform called Doculingo, which is an AI-powered contract intelligence platform that helps athletes, brands, families, and global businesses with contract intelligence and compliance. And yeah, that's me. I'm a father of a 5-year-old, and that's probably the best job that I have at this point.
Yes, I love that because I'm a father as well. I have a 21-year-old daughter who is in her last year at NYU studying nursing, and I have an 11-year-old daughter who's in the sixth grade. So I'm really big on being involved with my kids and my daughters and their lives and all that kind of good stuff. I'm divorced, and my 21-year-old is my stepdaughter. But like I tell everybody, I divorced her mom, not her. I've been in her life since
Yeah.
she was 8 years old. I'm not going anywhere. And so she stuck with me no matter what. And that's just the way life is. And let's talk about that, man. So talk a little
Yeah.
bit more about the work you do. So you kind of mentioned Department of Defense, you mentioned some stuff in government contracting, without getting, of course, too granular, right? What is
Yeah.
it you do in your career? And then what else are you working on outside of your career? Of course, being a dad, which of course I am as well. What else are you working on outside of your career that you want to, of course, shed some light on or kind of like let our global audience know more about?
Yeah, so I've worked in the Department of Defense, and of course, I've had to pivot from working in that into startups just because of the bureaucracy and how slow things can happen with the government. And so, my background was working with officers, training them on technical applications across the country and then overseas. And from that, I took that same type of mindset over to revenue operations with startups where I've helped them scale. So I've worked both on the business side, but then on the technical side. And that's, like I said, it's been helping me transition, into building things on my own. I've always been the type of person that has, comes from limited resources, so you have to find resources. So for me, my brain's always working in that project manager, revenue operations role where there's always something else that can be built. And that's helped me, especially scaling with the startups, helping them build out a operational efficiency. I've gained a reputation of helping these companies within a year to have 35% of an improvement when it comes to operational efficiency. And again, that's just coming from limited resources, growing up in that space, learning how to pivot, and that's transitioned into my professional life. And again, it's something that I instill in my family within our home. And it's also, like I said, it's helping me with Doculingo, what we're building now. In the last 6 months, we've had traction from, Duke. We have conversations, feedback loops with Duke, LSU, New Balance, the New York Giants scouting, just because I've learned how to work in fast-paced environments, but then also, how to execute in a short time frame. So,
This is fantastic. So you mentioned Doculingo, your company, and what you do. But before I get into some questions about what you do from an operations perspective, can you clearly let our audience know what Doculingo does and what problems and what issues are you solving and having what I call a solution oriented mindset approach? Or basically, in other words, what problems are you solving for your clients with Doculingo?
yeah, so Doculingo AI contract and compliance from an AI powered space. We basically extract key clauses. We translate up to 31 different languages instantly, and we flag risk in those documents and contracts. So we've wedged into sports. So we help families, athletic departments, mainly brands too as well, with some of that NIL that's out there. It's kind of the wild, wild west. And we pretty much simplify everything and put it into one place, kind of like a CRM, what you see in HubSpot and Salesforce, but just a little bit nuanced, a little bit more granular into the sports realm. So we've managed to do that. And like I said, we've had investors that have told us not to pigeonhole ourselves into sports specifically, but AI, contract analysis, translation, key clause extraction, all can happen also in different verticals as well. So we're currently chasing logistics and supply chain, which are very close networks of mine at the moment. So
Yeah, awesome. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, what Doculingo does, it helps you to extract information from contracts, like you said, stuff like NIL,
yeah,
opportunities, branding deals, anything from that perspective. And it basically gives people through powered by AI a summary and or information to easily digest those very difficult, arduous, very complex, very, could be time consuming things to read or to process or to break through. And what I want to talk about really quickly is what it sounds like to me, and I love this. Doculingo is really excelling at one of the four keys of being a great leader, which is sense making. Okay. In that regard, okay, Taylor. So you think about
yeah,
this. So when I talk about there's four keys to a great leader, right? There's inventing, okay, there's relating, there's visioning, and then there's sense making. Sense
right.
making is taking difficult, arduous, complex information and breaking it down to simple, digestible information that people can understand and can easily apply. How did you come up with the concept for Doculingo based around one of the key four elements of leadership, which again is, in my opinion, sense making?
Yeah, man. I mean, it comes down to how I was raised. Again, I say limited resources. I got a mother who worked very hard with four of us, and a father who was incarcerated. And in that situation, I had to work with limited resources at a very young age. So I've learned that skill, transitioned it over into my life in general. Just a little bit background about me as well. Like, before the age of 20, 19, I was, 19 or 20, I was homeless twice, very short stints, in situations, obviously, the way my mother's um, a way to make it through. So with the leadership, I think it comes from those experiences, having to pivot, having to adapt and adopt, and to continue to push through. And for me, like I said, I think with Doculingo, coming from transitioning from limited resources from that my personal world, basically items that didn't make sense, and then there were ways that we obviously uh, would work from a technical standpoint where we would automate some of those processes, and that transitioned over into to working with Doculingo. So
Taylor, what I really like about Doculingo, it is a big part. It is bringing to the table, I feel, a huge part of the business world that a lot
yeah,
of people need help with, the logic perspective. Okay. There is two parts of any successful business. There's an emotion perspective, right, Taylor? And there's a
yeah,
logic perspective. So the emotion perspective is when you think of things like dreams or things like, that you really want to achieve in that regards, more of like the why in which you do things, right? So mission or dreams, that would be more the emotion side. The logic side would be things like a plan or systems. And a lot of times, especially when people are just starting out, right, Taylor? A
yeah,
lot of people, I mean, I know I did for years, struggle with the logic side of the business, like how to create systems. And this is a key component of anyone that wants to build something special in the business world. You have to establish systems in order to get and put time back into your pocket. Can you explain to people how Doculingo helps people to create systems for, like you said, contracts, information, documents, things of that nature, which then, right, Taylor, allows them to get things done more expeditiously, therefore putting time back into their pocket by establishing a system by utilizing Doculingo?
Yeah, Doculingo, great question. Doculingo, as far as systematic, we've had, like I said in the past, working in startups, sometimes in revenue operations, you realize the system is the issue. People spend a lot more time working on the administrative work and the manual processes of putting in data. And a portion of is expedite that systematic issue that you see where individuals within companies have to manually put in most of the data that comes from the contract. So as far as systems, we help expedite that. We help get individuals within a company away from that manual process and really work on optimizing the time and taking advantage of the time that they have by utilizing Doculingo as a whole. So as far as contract analysis, AI translation, we've noticed that companies spend a lot of time, again, on equal procurement, however that case may be, it takes a long time for that situation. So
Ben? Ben. Okay. Were you having trouble hearing him like partway through? Was that just me? Okay. In and out. Okay. I just want to make sure. Are we able to like clean that up? Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear him too. It's just in and out. Yeah. Okay.
Recording
Did he,
stopped.
did he log back in yet? Okay. Yeah, I don't know how that was happening. You know what I mean? It was acting weird. Still, is he still not back, Ben? Okay, and I tried to call him on his phone. Well, if he doesn't call back, then maybe Ben. If he doesn't call back, should us kind of like maybe like do like a little wrap up, like so we can just wrap the segment up. Then I mean, we can wrap up the interview, like and like, hey, thanks a lot, Taylor. I don't act like he's here and talk. Like, what do you think? Because I don't know if he's gonna be able to sign back on. We have a number one at 11. Okay, okay. We'll give him another minute or two and see if he can start log back in. If not, yeah, I was like, yeah. And you know what though, man? It's not a good look to have an AI company and have your internet not be working. That's not no, we don't want that. So, all right. So, okay, we got one in 6 minutes. So I tried to call him back. It's going straight to voice. It's going. He must have his phone off. Mhm. Your call has been forwarded. Mm. Dude, I know that's gotta be something else, man. Oh my, dude, that's bro. I know it. You like your artwork like that? That's your thing? Yeah, I mean, if you can find like a good flow and get used to it, you know what I'm saying? It actually it probably works out really, really well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, your job is to keep the plants alive, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, my grandma was big into gardening, huge, like big, big. She loved it. She loved it. I grew up in Washington, D.C. Yes, sir. So, yeah. So Benny, I don't know what happened to him, but when we just kind of do like a little wrap up, like we're gonna do a little record, I can do like a little wrap up, like thank you very much, Taylor, all that kind of stuff. We can just go with that. We just close out with that. We just kind of wherever he cut off, we just kind of just kind of wrap up. You can find a good edit point. It's kind of in there. That way, we don't have to reschedule him for that, and we can try to just do it later on. If we want to do an interview later, we can do that. Oh yeah, I will. I will. But for right now, let's just go ahead and edit it. It's find a good place to edit it, and I'm just going to do like a little thanks very much, Taylor, for joining us. A little clip right here. Okay. Okay. Take time. Okay. Just tell me when.
Recording in progress.
Wow. Thank you so much, Taylor, for an awesome, awesome interview full of information and all the good things about your organization, Doculingo, how you help people create better systems, how you help people operationally enhance their business. It was just a phenomenal interview. We want to thank our sponsor, Tactical Harmony, owned by Rebecca Fitzsimmons, for sponsoring this episode. And the authentic tip of this great interview: in business, when you create systems to operationally enhance your organization, great things happen. Yes, systems take time to build and develop and put in place. But once you do so, it's a really great thing for your business. So again, build and implement systems to operationally enhance your business is key to your success and prosperity. Again, my name is Marques Ogden. I am the host of the Get Authentic with Marques show. Thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic day.